Alaska is the land of big statistics. It's the largest of all the United States. It has more coastline than the 48 contiguous states combined, and it's home to the Arctic Wildlife Refuge with more than 19 million acres of wilderness. I've traveled from the Kenai Peninsula to Girdwood, then to the remote village of Bethel in the west, and now I'm headed to Anchorage. Hunting and fishing is a way of life here. My next destination is Indian Valley Meats, a familiar name to the thousands of residents and tourists who hunt and fish in this part of the state.
Alaska is rugged country. The seasons are very short, so if it's fished out of these waters, hunted out of these woods, or grown in the local fields, it's got to be cured and preserved in some way so that they can eat it through the long winter. Now, here at Doug Drum's company, Indian Valley Meats, they do the same thing, except they do it with caribou, with reindeer, with moose. Their motto is, it's wild, it's Alaskan. I must be in the right place. With all the accoutrement, I don't know whether to ring the buzzer on the wall or call for Doug. Ow, ow. I'll ring the buzzer. Doug?
Yeah.
Andrew Zimmern.
Andrew, glad to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
When Doug Drum first opened Indian Valley Meats nearly 20 years ago, it was a small processing operation that catered to a few of the locals. Today, it's one of the largest facilities in the state. Not only do they process meat, they're also in the business of educating younger generations of Alaskans about hunting wild game. One of the more popular meats they process here is reindeer. Doug and his crew pump out nearly 70,000 pounds of reindeer hot dogs every year.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's not just any stuffing machine. That's the Hantman VF200.
Yeah, it's
with turbo stuff.
As the business expanded, so has the plant. At last count, they had 69 different rooms here. We're looking for Doug's own workshop, where he's going to show me how they make a rare hunter's treat. On the menu today, jellied moose nose. There are very few places in the world where those three words would ever be used in the same sentence. The recipe goes back hundreds of years to a time when a moose could literally feed a family for weeks.
And we'll cook that tongue and cut it up in small square pieces.
Yeah.
We'll use some of the ear, part of the ear when I skin it out.
Preparing an animal like this requires special skills. When Doug is finished, nothing will be left. Even the ears are being used.
Q-tip. Needed a Q-tip.
The next step in the process is to dump everything into a large vat along with some spices to cook it down.
And we're going to put it in. This has got your tongue, everything. We'll just dump that in there. Okay,
while the mixture cooks, Doug's offered me a few appetizers to tide me over.
And this is reindeer?
This is reindeer here.
I think it's kind of ironic that they have Mrs. Claus bagging up the reindeer stuff.
Doug is a guy after my own heart. He's starting with something found in few places in the world, walrus. In Alaska, natives can still harvest a certain number of walruses each year, and Doug's many contacts bring him a personal supply now and then.
My first walrus.
All right.
Smells a little clammy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, look at you. This is why I love my job, because I don't think anybody in their right mind would ever eat pot roast that tastes like shellfish.
Yep.
But this is pot roast that tastes like shellfish.
That's exactly right.
Doug enjoys developing and promoting unique foods like salmon wings. They're actually the collar of the fish, a part that most processors tend to throw away.
Holy cow. Yeah, these are delicious.
The salmon wings are especially nutritious, dripping with omega-3 oils.
This is fatty and smoky and funky.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, that's really good.
Enough of the snacks. It's time to try the jellied moose nose. The recipe calls for the boiled solids to be poured into a loaf pan, covered with the reduced kettle juices, and then left in the fridge to set up and gel.
Right open.
Well,
There you
cheers.
go. Cheers.
Oh, that's great.
It is good, isn't it? People don't realize that
Well, here's the thing. With the pickling spices in there, you get that great sort of like corned beef flavor. And with the butchering that you did on it, getting rid of all the bone and all the unnecessary stuff, you just explode through all these little tastes. I mean, the soft cheek meat and neck meat just kind of disappears. Like braised beef, like grandma's stew down your throat. Little chewy bits of cartilage and stuff like that are really nice textures.
The part that I've been saving for last is that spongy-looking inside area of the lower lip.
That's one of the craziest things I've ever eaten in my life. As I'm eating it and moving it from the front of the mouth to the back of the mouth as I'm chewing it, I'm realizing that that's what that function of that muscle is in the moose's mouth.
That's exactly right.
It's a little freaky, Doug.
Yeah, right.
This is a real treat. Thank you. Awesome.
Very welcome.
Alaska is one of the few places in the world where dogs are also a mode of transportation. In these parts, man's best friend can be a well-bred, well-tuned running machine, historically used for everything from occasional trips for supplies to running for sport. In fact, it's a common sight in Alaska to see 20, 30, even 40 sled dogs just hanging out in someone's front yard. Alaska is home to the world-famous Iditarod sled dog race, 1,100 miles of unforgiving terrain and treacherous weather conditions. As you might imagine, training for competition isn't merely a job, it's a way of life.
Hey, you must be Dario.
I am, you must be Andrew.
Yeah.
Here in Girdwood, Alaska, Dario Martinez is a professional musher whose daily routine revolves around his dogs.
Oh my gosh. What's the first order of business?
First order of business, breakfast.
Oh, okay. For us or for them?
For them.
Yeah.
It's always dogs first.
Dogs first.
Rule number one.
A little dog food slop is always a great way to start the day, but these animals need lots of water too. And out here, retrieving water gets a person in shape.
Well, here we go. This is running water Alaska style.
Consider this. Each of his 40 dogs is fed at least 3 times daily. He hauls 80 gallons of water from the creek every day. No wonder he doesn't have to go to the gym.
See, it's not a bad life. It keeps you out of trouble.
This is amazing. I mean, look at the scenery around you. Everybody gets really excited here, especially around mealtime. And because of the unique attachment and relationship between a dog handler like Dario and his 40 dogs, he prefers to feed them on his own. So I'm relegated to the sidelines.
Dario came to Alaska on a vacation, and he never left. These dogs are his family. They're expensive to keep, but he also gets paid premium bucks to rent his sled dogs to other mushers that are in big races. All of his dogs are Alaskan Huskies. They're smart, they're lean, and they were born to run.